Hello, beach lover. If you're new to my channel, every Sunday I release a new beach-related video, which normally involves beachcombing and looking for shells and critters at one of the amazing beaches down here in Southwest Florida. If you're a regular to my channel, welcome back, beach friend. Today we're going to visit Bunche Beach, and ladies, gentlemen, and children of all ages, I find one of my bucket list shells. So hang in there with me as we explore Bunche Beach here in Fort Myers, Florida, and I'm going to show you a shell I've been looking for over a year. So today we are going to be checking out Bunche Beach. I came here, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, found an amazing crown conch and was kind of hoping that maybe it'd have a repeat performance. Typically for shelling, it's not really a great beach, and I'm going to show you why, but there are definitely amazing things that you can find here, including one of my bucket list shells. So we're definitely going to find some good stuff. I'm going to start off with a sunray Venus clam that looks like somebody drilled a hole in that quite a while ago, and then it further kind of eroded. But that guy is a sunray Venus. And this is really kind of odd. It's in pretty good shape. We have a moon snail, a shark eye moon snail. That's for Bunche Beach. It's in pretty good shape, so that's a good find. Let's see. There we are. There's a crown conch. You're pretty much always going to find them. This guy was rolling around kind of in the surf there. Poor guy. So I figured we'd just kind of pick him up, check him out. Probably has a headache at this point, so I'm going to put him back in the water a little bit deeper so this poor critter isn't rolling around and getting all that much action. There you go, friend. And a rose petal talon. You can see that sticking right out from all the other gray oyster shells and whatnot which are there. And okay, here is a lightning whelk. Not terrific color, not entirely surprised. I'll show you. It looks like a lot of the shells at this beach do kind of have that kind of a beige color to it. So we're looking at a bunch of stuff, but it's really mostly oysters. Pieces of clams, you know, it's not lots of stuff, but it's definitely not like great shells. So again, I don't know that I'd necessarily recommend coming here for shelling. I still think you should come though, and like I said, don't worry, we're gonna find some good stuff. Okay, here's another. That's a lightning whelk. Unfortunately, this guy is kind of broken. And looks like I got another rose petal talon. Yep, I was successful, got that rolling around in the water. It's a fine pink shell. And here we have, okay, crown conch. Now you see kind of how it's that beige color, for lack of a better term. A lot of the shells that I find here actually are that color. I really don't know why. I don't know if it's because they're buried in this particular sand. There's a tulip, again, it's kind of got that beige color. I don't know why. That's a pear whelk. It doesn't have much color, kind of has that beige color. That's another lightning whelk. Again, I don't know, just overall, that's a baby little crown conch. A lot of the shells I find here just kind of have that weird beige color. This is a shot of a bunch of shells I had found over a year ago, but just to kind of show you, a lot of the stuff you find here have that kind of weird bunch beige color. This is a Florida fighting conch in terrible shape. Definitely not a keeper in my book, so I'll just kind of take a peek and put it back. And looks like, oh, okay, there we go. Here's a crown conch. That is a keeper. It's got some color on there. So it looks like I'm kind of zigzagging the beach to make sure I don't miss anything. And what do we got here? Another one. These shells are actually spectacular. When they have their color, a lot of times it's brown or maybe it's purple with those stripes, but they are just beautiful shells. And those I almost always find here at Bunche. And another one. Okay, this one's a little more purple versus that brown. Not too spiky, but really pretty. Those crown conchs. And, all right, yeah. That is a banded tulip. It's in terrible shape. Okay, it's Sereth. That's kind of a fun shell. He or she, that's in great shape. We're going to keep that one. So this is what we're looking at. I do like this beach because it's kind of remote. There's not anything but you and the beach here. So in that regards, it's really, really fun. And this particular morning, I got the place to myself. So I'm pretty psyched. Oh, I'm chasing something. There we go. Okay, little cone, little Florida cone. And again, not great shape, but it's okay. I'm going to keep it. Okay, I just went for it with the handful. Okay, not too bad. Got a crown conch, a beat up shark eye, kind of going clockwise. And then we have some of that variable worm snail and some really shells that just kind of have been beat up and rolling around for a while. So it's not too shabby of a grab. Okay, just a piece. That is a banded tulip. Very beat up banded tulip. And we have, yeah, another beat up lightning walk. Well, you win some, you lose some. Okay, winner. That is a true tulip. It's a little chipped, but at least it's empty. It's got some color to it, so that is definitely a keeper. Okay, and so then I kind of decided to, let's see what we got here. A bruised NASA. Decided to look for some tiny shells. I found a new appreciation for tinies because I had just finished the mirror project. If you haven't seen my mirror, I'll go ahead and put a little link up there in the right corner. That's a cool little guy. That is a ladder horn snail. We'll find a couple more, so I'll point that out. We got ourselves a little bubble. So these are all shells. Oh, here's another one. That is a West Indian false sereth. There's another sereth. So these are all shells that either did not reach to maturity or are just very small species. I don't know what that is, just a tiny, tiny hinged clam. I thought that was kind of neat and wanted to share. So now I'm back in the water. Here we have a crown conch. I was hoping that they'd, I don't know, come out, say hi, take a peek, but this guy seems a little perturbed that I picked it up, so we'll just kind of check him or her out, and then we're going to put them back so they can kind of finish what they were doing. Thanks for letting us check you out. And, oh, the color on this pear whelk is so nice. Oh, man. Beautiful color. I know it's a little slimy, but stuff like that would have been cleaned off. But not a keeper. It is alive. So we'll just look at this gorgeous alive pear whelk. Put it back where I found it. Oh, critter alert. All right, we got ourselves a beat up crown conch and a long-wristed hermit crab. They're so funny. I don't know what you want to call it. They move very quickly. Just kind of pop in and out, in and out. This guy was funny. Look at these push. That was so funny. Push. I had to put it in there twice. So thanks for letting us check you out, little long-wristed hermit crab. Just let that little feisty critter go back to what it was doing. Okay, another critter. This is another crowned conch. And this guy had so much slimy beach stuff, it was actually kind of spongy. I mean, it was really like a thick moss. So, perfect. I wasn't going to keep that shell anyway. Obviously, it was alive. So, put that back to go ahead and grow more algae, maybe. I don't know. Here we have another one. This shell is a little bit better shape. Again, obviously, not a keeper. Still a little bit of that sponginess. There's all sorts of like grass and whatnot, so we'll just check him or her out and put her back. So here's another look at Bunche Beach. Bunche Beach is a very shallow beach. You can really walk out pretty far in the water exploring, which is really, really fun. And I'm actually surprised that I haven't seen a live lightning whelk, which I typically almost always find here in a while. So the live lightning whelk and the live crown conch are definitely things I typically find here. There's a lightning whelk, and it's just got a bunch of barnacles on it. Looks like we got some of those ivory acorn barnacles as well as some striped acorn barnacles. It's kind of cool on this, on this lightning whelk. Oh well, nothing I'm going to keep, so just check it out and keep going. Now that's great color on that guy. That again, that is a ladder horn snail. They don't get that big. It's a kind of, they get 1.2 inches long. Very, very kind of specific, but real pretty shell. If you can find it with the color on it. Bunch, it's tough because it's usually kind of beige. And there we have a Morton's egg cockle. Those are fun. I had never found that before. So I was having a good time picking up those little yellow guys. And here we have, okay, it looks like a fly speck seraph. And what else am I picking up? Okay, a little bubble. Now, these things are tiny, teeny, tiny shells. Okay, another seraph. So again, these are shells that either just haven't reached maturity or they just don't come that big. That's another one of those West Indian false seraphs that only get, again, about 1.2 inches long. Guys, see this itty bitty tiny mighty amazing shell? It's my first wenzel trap. It is my first wenzel trap that I finally found. It is an angulate wenzel trap. It is awesome. I was ecstatic, and I even now the thing is like 3 times the size of a grain of rice. I mean, it is tiny, but I was so excited. And I also kind of figured out why I've never found one before, because I don't typically look through the tiny shells. So here we have the wenzel trap is on the left and a seraph is on the right. So you like, why is this lady going bonkers over this shell? Well, it's literally the first one I've ever found. The one on the right, oh man, I can find them all day long, every day. But that wenzel trap on the left is a very, very special shell, at least to me. I finally found one, yay! Okay, so that is a West Indian false seraph. Kind of cool. I don't normally find those, but again, I'm looking at tinies, which is something that I've never done a video about tinies before. That's another really cool ladderhorn snail. They are neat, and they kind of have that auger shape, but then they come down at the end of it is just a real neat shape, those horn snails. So that's another seraph. And what do we got here? Okay, that's a worm snail of some sort. I can't wait. There's one I really want to show you. There's the bubble. That just a little tiny lightning whelk, a little tiny bubble, and a crown conch. And another one of those NASAs. And there's my little container. Luckily, I had that. Look, I never found one of these either. That's a periwinkle. Yay! So that was exciting too. I'd never found one of those. And, okay, a pointed Venus clam. We have seen those before, but since I was down at tinies, again, that guy doesn't get that big. So I'm having a grand old time. I'm still pretty psyched. I was kind of hoping I'd find more wenzel traps. I was digging, and I'll get to that at the end of the video, so stick with me. There's another bubble. Another Morton's egg cockle. And there is a variety of all sorts of tiny little things. Look at this little guy. Not an expert. I think that might be a coffee melampus. Not 100%. I'm like 90% sure. And again, that's one of those Morton's egg cockles. I just love the color of those. I thought those were really cool. More tinies, all sorts of fun stuff. What do we got here? Check this out. Okay, another one of those horn snails. And And there is one tiny, tiny one I really want to share you. Not yet. Okay, that is a broad-ribbed cardita, just a little itty-bitty version of it. What do we got? Oh, that's like giant. That is a lightning whelk. Not terrible color. Okay, that is another little crown conch. It's kind of missing his color. A lightning whelk. Colors, that's okay. Still, I mean, from a shell, that's a pretty good keeper shell. Look at this. That is a lace murex. Again, it's that beige color, not surprised. The bunch beige. And a bunch beige piece of a crown conch. I like seeing the inside, but that and then the color, I just decided to leave it. All right, here we have another one. All right, another crown conch. It is intact, but it is that funny beige color. I don't care, I'm gonna keep it. And look at this, I was wandering around checking out the grass line, found another pretty spiky crown conch. Not great color, but maybe I'll try to dip that in acid. What do we got here? Another horned snail, very cool. Those are neat. Again, that only get a little bit bigger than 1 inch, so. And a banded tulip. Actually, I'm finding much better shells than I typically would have thought. I don't usually go shelling at Bunche. A little button snail. I'm finding a really good variety. Plus that wenzel trap, so I'm happy. Is this the one? Yes, this is what I wanted to show you. Look, it's a little tiny moon snail. So that's a little shark eye. So that's how these guys do their thing. They start out as itty bitty shells and then they grow into beautiful ones. That's another one of those coffee melampus shells. They're kind of fun. It's in good shape, intact. Those only get to about 3/4 of an inch. Oh, and look at this guy. This is another new one for me, and I believe this is a sparse dove snail. They only get to about 1/2 inch big. So that is a huge sparse dove snail. If that is indeed what it is. Really hard for me to identify those, but I think that's what that one is. Oh, and look at this little guy. That's a little baby tinted cantharus. Just a wee little guy. Okay. And I thought you'd call it a razor clam, but I looked it up and it's called a minor jackknife clam. So that's what I believe that guy is, which is kind of fun. And what other little aw, that's a little sunray Venus. That's actually quite cute. Little tiny sunray Venus. It's all my little treasures. Look at this. This looks huge compared to the other ones, but it's only a coquina. Big old coquina. Kind of pretty. Aw, I don't know what it is, but it was just tiny. So I wanted to show you this little bitty shell. And here's another one of those pointed Venus clams. That one's got nice color for a pointed Venus clam. And this is a cross-barred Venus. Just a little tiny one. I'm having a really hard time kind of showing you. Next time I'll bring tweezers. Oh, here we have a snack. Just kidding. That's a Florida stone crab. Just the claw of it. You might find that in a restaurant. And it was weird for me to find it on the beach. Hopefully somebody will eat that, recycle, do the whole circle of life thing. Cool. West Indian worm snail. That is that Bunche Beach beige. That's a crown conch, which also has kind of that beige color. All right, a scallop. I don't typically find them here, so that's great. And I'm going to give you some beach time now. Here we have another little bit of a bummer. That is a fantastic colored pear whelk, but it's just broken, so kind of like weird. Like I don't have any good side to it, so I just decided to not keep it because I couldn't figure out how I'd be able to kind of incorporate that into any kind of craft. So I'll leave that. Maybe somebody else can figure it out. Another crown conch. Yep, those beige, bunch beige crown conchs. It's too bad he's not all spiky and colorful, but we'll take it. And look at this. Now, this is colorful. Little purple coquina that has a whole bunch of color for this particular beach. No pun intended. Ooh. All right, here we go. I like those purple guys. Now, he's broken, but I think if I turn it just so, I can probably use that in something, so I'm going to keep that. Oh, a little teeny tiny broad rib cardita. It's so cute. And okay, a yellow prickly cockle. It's a little on the brown side. A little bit prickly though. Cool find. Oh, and it's one of my current favorites, the Lady in Waiting Venus clam. So check this out. I walked onto, not very far, maybe 150 yards up the beach, and there's nothing here. Nothing at all. Before we had all those piles of oysters, and here there is nothing. So don't give up. Kind of, if you've got the time, walk around. There might be something else you're going to be able to discover. And look at this beautiful little fella. This is a reddish egret. These birds are really cool because of its feeding behavior, and they run in long strides, they stagger sideways, they leap in the air. So they do all these really kind of crazy moves as they go looking for food. Another thing that's really quite special about these guys is that they come in two colors. The reddish egrets are either dark, or they, like the one we see here, or they're white, and they're like that for their entire life. Now, mated pairs can either be two of the same color, or maybe one dark one and one light one, but I just thought they were really cool. And I'm going to put a link in the description box in case you want to read a little bit more about those cool critters. Now here I've made it all the way up to the end of the island, all the way up on the north end. Nobody's here, and it's just real pretty. So I kind of wanted to just kind of creep around just a little bit and show you how pretty that this Bunche Beach can be. And for Bunche Beach, the tide is, quote, it's not high, but it's kind of normal. It's typically what I might expect to find here over at Bunche Beach. Now, earlier I had mentioned I had really wanted to find 2 wenzel traps, and I actually did. I found a second one. This one is quite a bit bigger, and what I didn't notice at the time, because I was so dang excited, is a little operculum there. So once I got them home, I was all excited. I showed my daughter. I said, "Look at these cool wenzel traps," and that's when I discovered that it was still alive. So not able to keep it. Luckily, I don't live that far from Bunche Beach, so I was really, really bummed. But I think I would have been absolutely heartbroken if I had found it again and I had actually killed it. That would have been really upsetting. So I brought my wenzel trap, my prized wenzel trap, back to Bunche Beach because that's what you got to do. And this guy needs a chance to go ahead and make more baby wenzel traps. So he went back in the water. So this is the haul. I mean, for Bunche, actually not terrible at all. We got a couple lightning whelks, that lace murex, a whole bunch of the crown conchs. We got some prickly cockle, a scallop, a couple pieces of things, a bunch of sereths, 1 pear whelk, a bunch of the rose petal talons, and then I decided with that one real beat up conch, what's going to happen if we dip it in acid? So just real quickly, I don't need to make a whole production out of it. It cleaned it up a little bit. Now that side cleaned up real nice. So I'm going to keep it because I most likely can use that in some sort of craft that I will do in the future. So that was kind of fun. And then the tinies. Oh, those little tinies. I wasn't going to put them all out. It would take me a really long time. So I just kind of went this method instead. We have our little pointed Venus clams. We have those cool bubbles, the nasses, the West Indian sereths, all of those cool, the ladder horn snails, which was really, really cool. The egg cockles, the periwinkle, and this mighty wenzel trap. So I'm going to remember this day. That's the day I found my first wenzel trap, and it was awesome. So guys, thank you. A special shout out and thanks to my Patreons. Because of you, I'm looking into all sorts of different kind of explorations I can share with everybody. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being amazing. I will see you again on Sunday. Have a great week.